Breaking news, Paul George says he's stepping away from podcasting for a bit to help the 76ers contend for a championship, and this is real life. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here. Oh, what is happening? This is Paul George on his podcast saying, I want to let the Podcast P family know that after today's episode with Dwight, I plan to take a break from the pod just to focus on getting my body right, mentally right, and, help this squad make a push towards our goal of finishing the season out and give ourselves a chance to be in contention to compete for a championship. Bewildering comment, because in case you haven't taken a peek at the standings lately, the Philadelphia 76ers are 20-37. They are 1-9 in their last 10. They have lost 8 in a row. And Paul George is talking about contending for a championship? What the hell is going on? Like, this is a Centel thing. I have to think this has got to be fake. Like, is this is real? Compete for a championship? What are we talking about? The 76ers have had this season from hell. They've been awful. Joel Embiid is looking at radical procedures to try to deal with his knee issue. The 76ers can't stay healthy. They look miserable out on the floor. They're 20-37. What are we talking about? Championship. And look, if Paul George is really saying, hey, I'm going to take a step away from that, I'm going to really focus, you should have done that in October. Where was this in October? Where was this at the beginning of the season when the 76ers actually had something to compete for? Now? You're out. You're done. What are you talking about? Compete for a championship. Now you want to take a step away from podcasting to truly focus? And I'll tell you what, Paul George is actually, 76ers fans should be punching things right now. Paul George saying this now, all it says is he hates the 76ers. I'll tell you why in just a minute. He's actually going to hurt the 76ers really badly if this is true. If he suddenly kicks it into gear, he's going to screw this franchise over. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor first. I'm going to explain why Paul George might seriously destroy the future of the 76ers. But first, let me talk real quick about Prize Picks. Daily Fantasy Sports. They do an awesome job. You guys can click the link in the description down below. Go check them out. Super, super easy to play. Use our promo code Bulletin. Get a guaranteed $50 on your first $5 played. And take, I guess you might as well, since Paul George is suddenly going to take things seriously. Playing tonight against the Knicks, 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Well, if he's suddenly taking things seriously, I'm assuming he's going to drop more than that. I'm assuming it's been an awful season for him, but I'll say, if this is real, I'll say he's going to drop more than that. And I'll also say Karl Anthony Towns is going to put up more than 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. If I'm right on both those, win $30 on a $10 play. You guys can check them out. Again, use the link in the description down below. And don't forget to use that promo code Bulletin so that they know that you came from us. All right, so here's why Paul George must seriously hate the 76ers. Here's the problem. And this is the problem right here, everybody. Right now, the Philadelphia 76ers, if the draft were to stay chalk, the 76ers, by the skin of their teeth, would keep their draft pick this year. It's a top 6 protected pick. And you know who gets the pick? The Thunder. Oklahoma City, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They get the pick if it's not top 6. The Thunder should be celebrating. Maybe Paul George is secretly a sleeper agent for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He did play for them. Had some really good seasons for them. Maybe, somehow, some way, this is Sam Presti activating his sleeper agent, Paul George, because suddenly the 76ers look like they're on pace to keep their pick, Joel Embiid, I think he's done. I think Joel Embiid is done for the season. The 76ers as a team, they are done. They're done. Now you want to win games? All you're going to do is lose your pick. That's it. You're going nowhere in the East. You're going to lose your pick. What are you thinking? Right now, I don't know. Toronto doesn't have a difficult schedule. Right now, maybe they've lost 8 in a row, Philadelphia has. Maybe they've got a shot at getting the 5th worst record. Again, if it falls anywhere outside the top 6, the pick goes to the Thunder. So there's a decent chance. Let's say, I don't know, pick a random team. Let's say Portland moves up. That's it. Philly loses their pick if things stay chalk, unless Philly also moves up. But you drop down to 7, drop down to 8, goodbye. That's why you want to move to 5 if you can. At least give yourself a better chance. So if one team does move up, you still get to keep your pick. That is the one. It's been the season from hell for Philly. It's been awful. This is the one silver lining that the 76ers have. And Paul George says, now I'm going to stop podcasting. Now I'm going to focus. Now I'm going to do everything I can to help us win games. Now, 76ers fans have got to be irate right now. Got to be irate, losing their minds. Like, you never want to fault a player for wanting to win, but the timing, this is so tone deaf. And here's the other thing. You know, there's a lot of NBA fans who get really upset when their players do other stuff. And it's not basketball, right? They get really upset. And they say, oh, he should be practicing. He should be on the court. Well, you know what? You can't practice 24 hours a day. And so I tend to be sympathetic with guys who do other stuff. You want to host a podcast. You want to be a musician. You want to be a rapper. You want to be Damian Lillard. Do that. Right? Do that. You want to get into fashion. You want to be Kyle Kuzma. You want to be Jared Vanderbilt. Cool. Do that. Russell Westbrook. Do that. It's okay. It's all right to be a well-rounded person and have other interests. Yes, some people get obsessed with basketball. I'm obsessed with basketball, right? Some people get obsessed and just locked in. But you know what? That's not necessarily healthy. That's not the way that you want to be. You want to be a well-rounded person. That means you need to have hobbies. You need to have other things outside of basketball. I don't have a problem with players doing other stuff. If that other stuff starts to come at the expense of basketball, it's a different story. But you can't be on the practice floor 24 hours a day. So I don't have a problem with it. People complain about Paul George and his podcast and all that kind of stuff and say, oh, he should be practicing and blah, blah, blah. I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with him saying it now. Why not? Why now? Okay, I'm going to really focus. Now I'm going to really do everything I can to win games. No, now you should be focusing on your podcast more. Now the best thing for your organization is to lose games. That's what's the best thing. Now look at Paul George on the season. It's been a nightmare. 16 points, 4.2 assists, 5 rebounds. Look at the shooting percentages. 43% from the field. 36% from 3 is not bad, but compared to where he's been, hasn't been himself. 34 years old. Might now be one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Same can be said of Joel Embiid. 76ers had a great summer, made the free agent signing of the offseason and getting Paul George, and now both PG and Joel Embiid may have flipped and become bad contracts. Joel Embiid, I don't know, is he ever going to be right again? Who knows? Paul George, 34 years old, and look at that contract. Look at that. What team right now says I want to pay Paul George $57 million when he's 38 years old? Who says that? Nobody. The 76ers are down bad. They have one silver lining, and that's that, hey, maybe coming out of all this, we get Cooper Flagg. Maybe coming out of this, we get one of these top draft picks in a great draft class. Maybe. That's the one thing that 76ers fans are clinging to for dear life, and they're doing a great job right now. They've lost 8 in a row. Keep them coming. Keep losing. Play Tyrese Maxey 25 minutes a night tops. Sit him on the bench. The season's over for the 76ers. You're not going anywhere. What are we talking about? Contend for a championship? They're the 12 seed. Let's say they get to the 10 seed and they win and they finish as the 8th seed. Let's say that happens. Let's say they make up a 2.5 game gap. They knock the Bulls out. And next thing you know, the 76ers, they win game 1 in the play-in. They win game 2 in the play-in. Because remember, they'd have to win 2 games. And then they become the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. Let's say that's best case scenario for Philly right now. What's their prize? A round 1 matchup with the Cavs, the best team in the East. 48-10. The 76ers are 20-37. You're not beating the Cavs. You're going to get swept. Contend for a championship. You've lost 8 games in a row. The Cavs have won 8 games in a row. Their average margin of victory is 12 points. They average blowing teams out on a night in, night out basis. What are you talking about? Contend for a championship. Good Lord, Paul George. I hope that this is somehow fake, that this is not real. Because this is just mean to 76ers fans at this point. He's got to be trolling somebody. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And 76ers fans, I feel for you. Contend for a championship. My God. Hey, go all out, PG. You do you. Go all out. Ruin your draft pick. And make sure that this team's going to be stuck for years to come. Bravo. God, the man's going to get booed at home games. What is he thinking? All right, everybody. Give me your thoughts. I don't know what Paul George is thinking about here. Contend for a change. This is insane. See, Studio Stu even jumps in. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, everybody. Paul, this is, I mean, one of the worst things that you could potentially come out and say right now, given the Philadelphia 76ers situation, given that now they're actually making up ground to maybe hang on to their pick, the silver lining. And now Paul George says, oh, no. Now I want to focus on basketball. Let me know. What do you think about this? I was blown away. I thought this has to be fake. Maybe Paul George has a new prank show and he's pranking the city of Philadelphia right now. It's the only thing that makes sense. All right, everybody. Give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Till next time. See ya. And stay safe. Contend for a championship. Unbelievable.